Here we have a very, very lovely Royal Doulton figurine duo called The Love Letter, which is HN2149, I think, which is one of those Royal Doulton pieces, one of those vintage Royal Doulton pieces, which is just exquisitely detailed in its production. This one in particular is quite amazing because it works both ways round. So you've got the beautiful attention to detail here with the feet of one of the young ladies who very much look like a sort of Bronte era or Shelley era young ladies from the early 19th century or late 18th century. In fact, funnily, every time I look at them, I'm trying to keep my hand out of the light so that you can see them in all their beauty. I really should have some sort of little turning table, I guess. But I have to admit, every time I look at them, they remind me of Mina and Lucy in Bram Stoker's Dracula, with the laborious passages. I don't know if you've ever read Bram Stoker's Dracula, but there's a few laborious passages where you have to wade through Jonathan Harker's gushingly puerile nonsense to Mina, who then reads it to Lucy, or is it Lucy reading it to Mina? I can't remember which, but either way, it's mind-numbingly gushy, and that, for some reason, this Royal Doulton figurine for some reason brings that to mind. Not that this is mind-numbingly gushy. This is a rather lovely piece. It was produced by one of Doulton's premier designers, Margaret Peggy Davis, and this model, this HN2149, was produced between 1958 and 1976. They've got beautiful faces. This one is an early one, or at least a moderately early one. It dates from, I can state with moderate certainty, from 1961, and the reason being, on the base there's the usual Doulton stamp, which was used in the 50s and 60s and 70s, but if I can find it here now, I've probably lost it, but somewhere on the base is a date stamp for the mould. There it is. Unfortunately, these are never very clear in the videos, and they are actually very, very difficult to read with the naked eye as well. But that mould stamp there, I'm pretty sure reads 1561, which means that the mould that this particular example was cast from would have been made on the 1st of May 1961. And as you'll no doubt know, if you know anything about the production of Royal Doulton figurines, the moulds used to produce these exquisite works of art only last for a few months before they have to be recast. So if you've got a date, if you've got a mould date, you don't always have them, but if you are fortunate enough to have a mould date on the base of your figurine, you can state with certainty that your figurine would have been made to within a few months of the date of that date stamp. I'm getting quite precarious here. I feel like I'm going to drop her, but that would bring the video to a very, very tragic end, so I'll do my best not to. But I am just trying to show her from every angle, or them from every angle. Let's call them Mina and Lucy. They're very, very attractive ladies. She doesn't seem particularly enamoured about having a love letter. She probably has a lot of them. That's probably what it is. It's just another love letter. And the other one, oh no, she looks quite entertained. So we can only assume that the contents is quite frisky, particularly for the late 18th century. But it's in very, very nice condition, as can be seen. There's absolutely, well, it's immaculate. There's absolutely no hint of distress, no paint loss, no glazing loss. Just checking very carefully at the moment. I was just looking at the line here, but it's a line for her cuff on her rather Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen frilly blouse. So it's just a bit of artistic detail there. She's been checked with a UV light, as all these pieces are when we acquire them, and she shows no sign of restoration. So she's in stunning, they are in stunning condition. Far better condition than many pieces of this sort of vintage. And even underneath the shoes, which you often find a little bit of paint loss on the underside, even those are immaculate. So it's a very ornate, beautiful piece, and it's obviously being in retirement now for several decades, since 1976, which makes me feel old, because I was born only just a few years before that. So to think of 76 as being a long time ago is kind of a scary prospect, but there you go, that's life. But very, very nice. This particular figurine has a book value probably around $350 or £250. I've just had a look online actually, and there's somebody selling one on Amazon, obviously second hand, because they are obviously all second hand. They're vintage pieces. There's one being sold on Amazon for £125 at the moment, which made me wince a little bit. But the thing is, that comes without any specific age. I mean, this is undoubtedly an early one from 1961. So we'd probably match that price anyway. She'll probably go on at around £125, even though for this particular model that is rather on the cheap side, given her very early vintage. But we obviously do like to be competitive. So she will make a beautiful collection or addition to somebody's collection, particularly for those who are looking for, you know, pristine early examples of long retired pieces. So as you can see, I mean, even the detail to the base of the sofa. The little hairbrush on the side, it's exquisitely modelled and, you know, beautifully hand painted. It really is quite a work of art, and of course by one of Royal Doulton's most celebrated designers, Peggy Davis. I think the curvature, the beautiful lifelike curvature to the backs of the neck with the indentation between the shoulder blades is just so typical of, you know, the attention to detail on these very, very laboriously produced vintage pieces. This certainly goes way before, you know, this sort of thing was mass produced, or at least knocked out, you know, in a half indifferent way. These things are beautifully handmade, and so they certainly do deserve this rather lengthy video. So this is exactly the model which will the exact example that will be on the Timeless-Antiques.co.uk website for sale. So if you purchase, this is exactly the one you'll get, this specific item, as long as I don't drop it. So with my hands starting to shake, I think the best thing I can do is put the two ladies down and let them get back to their love letter, and let's just hope it doesn't make them blush too much. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching.